Are you videoing right now?
Yeah, why are you about to do something bad?
No, I don't ever do anything bad.
It's Frankie.
Just ask my ex-wife.
His last name's good.
Yeah.
It is good?
Yeah.
So you never do anything bad?
No, I'm always good.
It's Frankie, all good.
You gotta be good, or you get in trouble. All right, fire the hole. All right, everybody out.
This is the old carburetor that Frankie and Dan, the guys at VDL, resurrected. So this is the one that Dad liked before, that said it had good drivability.
Okay.
So we just ran it on the dyno, and we just put the get 'em on, which we ran at the track last time. So we'll be able to have that back-to-back comparison here on the dyno to know what that difference is power-wise. Then we go to the racetrack, we'll see what the lap time says.
Interesting. Were any changes made to that one since the last track outing?
No.
Because that thing was like, even just watching the video, it sounded like the car had a micro switch behind the gas pedal for nitrous. It was like really not happy. And then he floored it and was like, here we go.
Yeah. So this would be interesting to see what the difference between the two is, because
I'm interested to see what it is under the curve and not just, you know,
peak number.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your baseline right here. It's not up there yet.
Do you sleep with that camera too?
I don't actually. I could use it.
Girlfriend would freak out.
I could use it more often.
All right, let's get some heat to it, okay?
And we also fixed the low oil pressure problem too.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I forgot about that, and then I remembered it because you were like, rev it and see if it goes away. Yeah.
We checked, pulled the bearings, and checked everything was fine. It was just the fact that the engine was hot, oil was hot, so it's thin. It wasn't anything wrong with the motor at all, other than the fact that we have all the oilers. So, yeah, piston oilers, valve spring sprayers, so at low RPM with really hot oil, this is low oil pressure because there's leaks everywhere. So there's a little, what do you call that? Check valve?
Yeah, call it check valve.
Yeah, check valve on there that when the oil pressure is below 45 PSI, it closes. So it doesn't let any oil to the oilers.
The springs?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But then once it goes up past 45, then it opens up and lets oil go to the spring oilers and the piston oilers. So that's gonna, we have that on there now. So that'll, the thing's leaking.
Yeah, I got it. Camera on, just in case it catches on fire.
Okay. I'm still amazed at how soundproof that door is.
It's amazing. Yeah, hand tight. That's my bad.
How much power did it make with the other one?
So this is the different fuel. So we made 753
Yep.
with Dad's carburetor. This is on the Sunoco 110, which is a completely different fuel than we had before. So it's non-oxygenated. Where everything we ran before was either the E15 or the Q16, which are both oxygenated. This is completely different. So it's less power because of the fuel, but this is the fuel they have at the racetrack.
Okay. When we were on that dyno and it made 777, which fuel was that?
That was Q16.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how much power do I think that?
That fuel's worth about 10 plus.
Okay, so his you know, his own carburetor.
Dyno, yeah. So yeah, it's
within 5.
yeah. I'm gonna bet this thing's gonna make 760 something.
So you think his road race carburetor may be down 10 or so horsepower peak.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
About to find out.
There you go.
Yeah.
771.
771.
So that carburetor was a lot.
Oh.
One more.
I'm from you.
770.2. Are you ready?
Give me 1 second here, buddy.
Qualifying run right here.
All right, you can go.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty consistent right there.
Saving fuel, saving fuel, saving fuel. Cool. That's good.
What was that big thump?
Just a explosion. Shut it off. Not letting it idle long enough.
Oh.
207. But I'm on the fuel pump instead on the car, the engine fuel pump instead of mine, so that's why.
Oh.
I'm gonna let it idle more. I can't shut the fuel off. The pumps keep going. Reach. Good. Understand? Good.
Good enough.
Okay. Everybody happy?
Yeah, see, we'll have the previous run with the old carburetor, and then this one pull it up,
Okay.
so I can have them, I can get them back to back.
Okay, so that's to get them.
Yeah.
Right? That's 8:30, right? And I put customers, so you know, right?
Yep.
And then that's our dyno stuff. So you want all three of them up?
Nope.
Which one? That
Just
one?
just the dad's carburetor and to get them.
Okay. All right. So, oh shit, sorry. So that's dad's right there blinking,
Yep.
and that's to get them. Okay. So like if you look up on top here, it'll say.
Yep.
Okay. So you just go. Okay.
That's perfect, Frankie.
All right. All right. I'm getting that hell out of your way. I'm gonna check the filter. Okay.
That's
And
fantastic.
you guys can talk and do
We're
whatever.
good.
You guys can talk in the
You got what we needed here, so.
So it seems like the curves are shaped the same. It just makes less all around, but that doesn't tell you the complete story of how it behaves when you're not wide open, does it?
No, this is gonna be so much fun, because yeah, the bigger carburetor is just making more power as the engine speed increases because it's letting more air in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just making more power everywhere. Cool, but you're not wide open throttle 100% of the lap.
That's what's fascinating.
It's that part throttle. This is what's going to be cool, because that's a significant power difference.
Uh-huh.
So
Everywhere.
everywhere. It's like you're going to say, yeah, give me that one. I want that. But it'll be interesting to see what the lap time shows. I already know what Dad's going to think.
You're gonna love it.
He's going to want the smaller one.
Yeah.
Is what I think he's going to want. But at least now we know how much power difference there is between the two. So now we just need to go to the racetrack and run both of them and find out.
Yeah, that'll be super interesting because there's a lot more parts of the track that are turning than there are that are straight. So the time that he could make up in the turns was his bread and butter already anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know, him doing a freaking 30 to 160 pull down the backstretch might not be as hardcore, but the rest of it will be a lot better.
I mean, if I was drag racing, give me that good 100%.
Yeah.
There's no question. I think on a racetrack, at a road course that's fairly grip limited, I think the other carburetor is going to win. is my guess, but we'll see what the stopwatch says.
Now the natural question to me is, how do you get both? Can you have the power of that one with the drivability of the other one?
That is the age-old question right there. How do you get both?
Now that carburetor, that's the one with like the 2 blades, isn't it? It doesn't actually have 4 barrels.
Yeah, we get them the twin blade, and the Holly's a 4 barrel. So I bet there is part of this in that the airflow transition as those things open might be different. Now, a carburetor guru guy may tell me I'm completely smoked on crack on that. And that's fine. I'm not an airflow guy. I'm an oil guy. So this isn't my area domain. But I would think that having that twin blade, the air is going to move differently than having a 4 barrel.
I wish we could have hung on to that Bill Pink carburetor for the track.
It's all good.
Yeah, that would have been fun to have that one too.
Yeah.
Because it would probably be somewhere in the middle.
You're a ball buster. I like it.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of those two, so that would have been an interesting step to see. Is there a...
Yeah, find the middle zone, but how does it feel in the seat?
Yeah.
If you're gonna give it, you gotta take it too. All right, you guys, I got the fan on low, so you can do your studio stuff in there.
We're good. Awesome.
All right, I'm going up outside for a second, smoke a cigar, and I'm coming in here and work on that. You good?
Okay.
And as I pick on it, after this, I got 2 more to do.
I'm gonna be done in like 5 minutes and out of your hair.
No, I'm gonna pick at it, taking it off little by little.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right, you're up best. I don't care what Mitchell tells me.
I didn't say anything bad.
I know it's a joke.
Hey, how much I owe you for that carburetor?
I told Dennis that's his deal, so I ended up. We'll figure it out. No, I'll tell Dennis. Don't worry about it. We'll handle it.
Okay.
I figured I would just let this run and I'd make it an extra channel video. Like use my brain to have that be placed so people kind of see when I would normally have the camera off for a normal video or stuff that would get edited out.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's going to happen anyway. Might as well go film it. That's what made the dang extra channel for, and I always forget to use it. So
it's like, there's a reason for this.
Yes, making an effort now.
Yeah. So I think we can get 753 peak versus 768. So it's 15 horsepower difference peak. But here's the thing that may be super interesting. Oh, it's not going to let me move it. I can't cursor back and forth.
I think he was doing that with these keys, the ones that are all worn out on top of the plus and minus.
Okay, here we go. Now I get where we want. Oh, there you go. You're paying attention.
I pay attention to everything.
Okay. All right. So here's the key piece: torque. Because horsepower is a calculated number. Torque's real. Peak torque. We're at 743 with the get 'em versus.
You got to figure it out.
Well, we're trying to get there. Oh, damn it. Oh, here we go. 734. So it's what?
9.
9, yeah. So that doesn't seem right. 730.
It looks like a bigger difference than it is.
It does look like a
the
bigger
chart is
difference,
way
yeah.
zoomed in because 450 is down there and 500 is up there.
That's right. It says different scale on different sides. Yeah. This is 50 on the torque side, 100 on the horsepower side. So we got 2 different scales going.
Okay.
That's why. Okay.
That looks screwy.
Yeah. So not that 9 pound-feet, or foot-pounds, or however you want to say it, right? Yeah, 9 more foot-pounds of torque might be, I don't know. It doesn't seem like enough to make that big of a difference driving-wise.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it. I think it's going to be, like you said, the part throttle response. I really think that's going to be what the story is. Not the pure power, probably more just the way the airflow moves from a twin blade to. Unfortunately, they don't make an 830 CFM twin blade. I don't believe. I think that's.
You have to have small blades.
Yeah, little mini blades. But,
yeah, in those videos, it seemed like those blades must be so big that under that part throttle, it doesn't have enough, like it doesn't have enough velocity to be happy going into the engine through that big opening.
That may be what it is, that at lower engine speed, when you open it up like that, there's like I said, there's not enough velocity initially,
Mm-hmm.
and then finally it gets going, and then boom, here we go, and that would spin the tires.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Maybe you could kind of drive around that by downshifting more and keeping the engine up high.
Probably so.
But you'd have to, I don't know, change your throttle linkage so you have a wider sweep, so it's not like a micro switch off.
But he already had that though. He said he'd already lengthened everything already on the car.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Because he's been doing this forever, right? He's not dumb on that side. He realizes that I want the throttle to be my traction control device.
Wow. So if he didn't do that, it would have been even worse.
Oh yeah.
It would have been like.
Oh yeah. He had everything already set up so he could give it whatever he wants, and modulate the throttle and find that edge of grip, and then just progressively give it more throttle to manage the grip. That's something that you learned way back in the early days of Cup, especially like places like North Wilkesboro and stuff. So you have to drive like you have an egg between your foot and the throttle pedal. And the more you could do to manage the tires. I mean, this is the guy that grew up racing with bias ply tires and go-karts, was the bias ply tire day of NASCAR, where you had to manage your tires. And if you were too aggressive with the throttle, you piss off your tires, and then you're not going to go fast. So even though that's a radial tire he's on the car, in his brain he's still programmed to be throttle management, tire management. So everything in that car was set up for that. Yeah, it would have been worse if he had just didn't have all that.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder what could you do to measure that part throttle difference? Would you just put it on a flow bench and see how, like, the velocity or something? Like where could you actually get that data on a piece of paper without putting it in the car?
I don't know. That would be an interesting question. You talk to a carburetor guy or flow bench guru guy and say, how do you do that? I know from a dyno perspective, like that's the AVLs, the transient dynos that are so nice, is because they're an eddy brake style dyno, so that you can actually run the engine at part throttle. You can do a lap simulation that way, and you can really see what's going on.
The eddy brake ones, the ones that are like electromagnetic brake and not water.
Right. Yeah.
Because this one, you start the water release and it just has to go.
Yeah.
You can't play with it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
With the eddy current one, you can basically say, okay, here, I can make it do whatever I want because the electric motor's more responsive than the engine is, and it can basically set the brake wherever you want it to be.
The eddy brake is like the chassis dynos are like that, aren't they? With how the drums work, it's electromagnetic.
I think so. Not sure.
I'm not either.
I'm not going to say that I know on that one. I just know that the eddy current stuff is what we use that gives it, and that's what like Formula One, IndyCar, all the top end NASCAR stuff. The big high-end dynos are all eddy currents.
Interesting.
Because it lets you do lap simulation.
When we were driving back from Pittsburgh after our long road trip, Blake Jr. texted me and said, "Hey, going to be comparing carburetors at PME on Wednesday. If you want to come by." And at first I thought, oh, I can't make a video about that. And then I was like, wait a minute. Yes, I can. I can put it on the extra channel that I always forget to use. This is the perfect opportunity for that. So, am I right? Was that the perfect opportunity for this? Do you want me to film more sort of off the cuff, behind the scenes type things with minimal editing that we do? And I can put it on here. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. You'll have to tell me. Right now I'm putting on my carburetor on my Grand National Super Series car here. And this will be part of the part 3 video where we do all the finishing work at Ron Hornaday's shop. So go watch those build videos if you have not already. If you have, tell me about it. I'm genuinely curious. Because I knew off the bat that the build videos of this car would not get the same amount of views as normal stuff does, obviously, because there's a lot of people who just don't care what we're doing unless there's somebody else in it, and that's okay. I understand that. I'm fine with it. My objective, or my hope, is that people start that way and then they figure out who we are and what we do. Like they come for the other stuff, they stay for us. That's the goal here. I think that should be anybody's goal. I don't know, if you walk into a car dealership, you came there to look at cars. Maybe you make friends with the guy selling it, and then you stay for the salesman. It's, you know, something like that. I'm not sure what I'm getting at. Some sort of life lesson here, maybe. I don't know. Connect the dots yourself, I guess. But on this car, I'm actually going to get it fired up the next couple days here. If it stops raining, I can take it outside. I got to adjust the brake pedals, finish up the leg boards. I wanted to add some foam to the back of the seat. Or actually, what was more important, I need to cut some out of the middle. You can use your imagination as to why. I might want some more extra space there. Yeah, then we're getting to dumb things like, you know, putting the windows back in, putting hoses on there. It's for the rear end cooler, all that kind of stuff. Getting closer. I am shooting to race this the first time on September 7th at Tri-County Speedway. That makes the most sense to me because we can go test at Tri-County really easily anytime up to that. So if there's anything I've learned from listening to all of these racers who've achieved success in life, the times when they get bit in the butt, unless you're Darrell Waltrip apparently, is when you show up unprepared. Unless you're Darrell Waltrip, you can show up with no tools, and you can buy tools and borrow stuff from people and show up and run good in 1975. But you know, maybe this isn't 1975 anymore. Maybe you can't do that. But the common denominator is you are much more prepared for success if you are prepared when you get there. So I will test the car at Tri-County, and then I will familiarize myself with the car and the way it drives. I can learn, you know, where the nose is and all the things, where it is, just where the fenders are, where the front of the car is, where the side of the car is in relation to the track and the wall and all that stuff. And then I can go from that to running my first race at the same track. So I'm not changing any other variables. I'm familiar with the car and I'm familiar with that track. And then you add other cars in a race situation to the mix. And then once I do that, there's 2 races that night. After that, I can go race somewhere else and I'll be okay because I'll have enough seat time in the car to get to know it pretty good and be familiar with it. That makes a lot more sense to me than going and testing at Tri-County, which I would do anyway, and then rushing and being ill-prepared to show up to some other track I have never been to before, and then running a race in this car, which I have never done before. That seems like a recipe to have a bad time, cause problems, and just in general be disappointed. I think it just makes more sense to layer in the variables without changing them as little as possible. So that's what I'm going to do. And you will see a video about the setup process of this car. I'm working hard to do that. There are places that I could have gone to do the setup on here that would have been perfect, but making a video about it may have caused a problem. So I'm going to try to figure something else out because I know you guys want to know how this stuff works. And I'll say the same thing on this channel as I do on the other one. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, all that jazz. Tell me what you want to see me or more of, and we will do it.